John arrived at the local KFC, the dim fluorescent lights casting long shadows on the empty street. Exhausted but determined, he braced himself for another long night. Mrs. Jenkins, the manager, stopped him at the clock-in station, her voice trembling as she warned, "Weird things happen here at night." John brushed off her words, thinking they were just small-town superstition. As John started his shift, he noticed the fryer turning on by itself, though he was nowhere near it. He shrugged it off, attributing it to a malfunction, but the sound of clattering utensils made him pause. Each strange noise added to a growing unease, and he found himself glancing over his shoulder more often. The once familiar kitchen now felt sinister. John caught glimpses of shadows darting across the walls, but each time he turned, nothing was there. The whispers began, faint and elusive, seemingly coming from the vents above. He tried to convince himself it was just the wind, but the chills running down his spine said otherwise. Nervously, he scanned the room, but the source of the sounds remained a mystery. At 2:45 a.m., the phone rang, its sharp tone slicing through the silence. John hesitated before answering, expecting a late-night order. Instead, a raspy voice growled, "Get out while you still can." His heart raced as he slammed the phone down, the ominous warning echoing in his ears. Trying to shake it off, he muttered, "Just a prank, nothing more." John stepped into the storage room to grab supplies, the air inside unnaturally cold. His eyes widened in terror as he saw a figure hanging from the ceiling, clad in a KFC uniform. Its lifeless eyes seemed to stare directly at him, freezing him in place. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the figure vanished, leaving John trembling and pale. John sprinted to the front doors, desperate to escape, but they wouldn't budge. He pounded on the glass, shouting for help, but the streets outside were eerily empty. Behind him, the lights flickered erratically, casting monstrous, shifting shadows. He felt trapped, both by the locked doors and the malevolent presence. Just when John thought all hope was lost, a warm, golden glow filled the room. The oppressive cold lifted, and the flickering light steadied, bathing the restaurant in an almost heavenly light. The locked doors creaked open on their own, inviting him to flee. Without looking back, he bolted into the night. John stumbled onto the sidewalk, gasping for breath, his heart pounding like a drum. Turning back, he saw the KFC sign illuminated, its light forming the shape of a glowing cross. The voice from the phone echoed faintly in his mind, "You were warned." Fear and confusion swirled in him as he backed away from the building. At home, John couldn't shake the memories of that night. Every shadow and creak in his apartment made him jump, his nerves frayed. Rumors about the haunted KFC spread, but no one seemed to believe the full extent of his story. John knew better, something dark lingered there, and it wasn't finished with him. In a dimly lit archive room, an old newspaper article reveals a tragedy that occurred at the restaurant decades ago. A shadowy figure in the background observes the discovery, its presence felt but unseen. The mysterious voice that warned John resurfaces, its origins hinting at a deeper, more sinister connection. The story ends with the chilling line, "Some forces are better left undisturbed."